These are homemade golden brown southern style biscuits with only 3 ingredients. Today I'm going to show you how to make a beautiful, perfect homemade biscuit. Simple, easy, you're going to love it. Okay, we're going to use 2 cups of all-purpose flour. We're not going to sift it. We're not going to do really anything to it. We just need 2 cups. Okay. Okay, now we need 1 cup of buttermilk. We're just going to put it right in. And I'm using the fat kind. And we're going to keep the buttermilk out and we're going to keep the flour out. Matter of fact, I need to get just a little bit of flour so we can flour our board. So I'm going to keep that right out. Now we need a stick of frozen butter. Frozen butter. And I'm just going to grate it up on a grater. And we want to keep it as cold as we possibly can. I need to take off my sweater vest. Ooh, I had to get rid of that. Okay. I forgot my glove. I always grate now with my glove. It just goes faster because I'm not worried about cutting my hand. These gloves were sent to me by a viewer, a friend of mine, Miss Regina, and she's such a lovely person. All my viewers are lovely. All of you are lovely. Okay. Now this was ice cold. We're just going to pop it right in here. I just used a little parchment paper. All right, we're just going to start out with our dough whisk. We're just going to start mixing it. And we may need a little bit more milk and we may need a little bit more flour. Don't know yet. Every day is a little different when you make a biscuit because the weather, I have found, has something to do with it. And I think I do. I need just a touch, probably about a tablespoon of milk, buttermilk. Okay. We're going to flour our board here, and we're just going to get out our biscuits. We're not going to over knead it or anything, but the dough will have a great feel and it should be very cold because you got the cold butter. And you can even put your flour in the freezer or the refrigerator if you wanted to. Okay, our dough feels really good. See, this doesn't take long. It's a little messy, but it's going to be so worth it because my nephew's going to say, "Ooh, Aunt Frannie, you got any homemade jelly?" I can already hear everybody, "You got any homemade jelly?" Okay. And normally I wouldn't be doing this. I've already done a biscuit video and you can go back and look at that if you want. But I thought I would just do this video today to demonstrate how easy and quick it is to make a biscuit. We want our dough to be kind of even, so I just kind of rush mine to the side just like that. Make sure and if there's any like bigger places, I just kind of, you gently roll. You don't do it real heavy. We're not making pie crust, we're making biscuits. Some parchment paper on a sheet pan, and I double my pans because I don't want the bottom of my biscuits too dark. I don't like it that way. I want them to have a perfect color all the way around. We're just going to start just using a biscuit cutter, and I'm going to make sure I dip it in some flour. And I'm not going to twist. We're making thin biscuits, not very thick. you can make homemade biscuits. And once you master it, you can add cheese. You can add cheese and sausage. There's so many things you can do. Once you have made a biscuit, there are so many things you can learn to make. I'm teaching you today how to make good old-fashioned homemade biscuits. Now we're going to get about 4 or 5 more biscuits out of here. And it's always a good idea to have the biscuits touching when you put them in the pan. It gives it a real soft side all the way around. And if you don't do that, you'll just, if they don't touch, and that's fine. Also, you'll get more of a crispy side all the way around. When you bite into it, the whole side will be crispy. All right. And I always make a snake biscuit because that's just the way that I grew up. My step-grandmother always had made a snake biscuit. Okay. And this is what it looks like. Okay, we're going to stick these in a 450-degree oven. Okay, Miss Fran, what in the world are you doing now? My son, I just talked to my son, and he says, Mom, if you're making biscuits, why don't you make some homemade cinnamon raisin biscuits? Okay, so we're making homemade cinnamon raisin biscuits. I got 2 cups of self-rising flour. So I guess you're going to learn 2 ways to make biscuits today. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I've got another. I always keep butter in my freezer, so it's easy to just grab a stick out. So we're doing basically the same thing. We need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a stick of frozen butter, okay, we're going to need 1 cup of buttermilk, just like we did in the last one. It all goes right in. This time we're going to add a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon. And I'm thinking, ooh, this all the raisins I have? So I think 1/4 cup of raisins. That's all I have. Okay guys, I forgot. We need 1 tablespoon of sugar. A little bit different. Okay, I'm going to need just about another tablespoon of buttermilk. It's rainy and cold here. So I really do believe that weather has something to do with baking. Okay, we're just going to spread out a little bit of flour, and we're going to put our dough right on it. It doesn't take long to make a biscuit. Okay, we'll get our dough good and rolled where it's really good and combined, and then we're going to start rolling. So you're going to learn how to make biscuits 2 ways today. Okay, I've got me a piece of parchment paper on another, I got me another little sheet pan here, and we are going to double it. Okay, we're going to start getting these biscuits out. Like I said, these are going to be a little thicker. I think it's Bojangles or Hardee's that has the cinnamon raisin biscuits. And I know that we all love them. But it's so easy to make them. And it's so less expensive. Okay, so we have our biscuits here. We're going to put these, some of them are touching and some are not, and that's okay because I just had some extras. So we're going to put these in that 450-degree oven for about 18 minutes, but I need to get another sheet pan out. Okay guys, these are our homemade biscuits, and we're going to add a little bit of butter. Look at those. Those are gorgeous. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of butter on them. Okay, I'm going to put just a little bit of butter on these. And then we're going to let them set. And we're going to make a little glaze for the other biscuits. We're glazing these with good old unsalted butter. We don't want our biscuits too salty. And self-rising flour has a lot of salt in it. Not a lot, but the normal, the right amount, I should say. Come on in. Hey, boy.
How are you?
Good. Come here. Come here. This is my nephew, Henry.
This is my favorite aunt right
Oh, he tells us all day. I'm sure he tells my sister Connie the same thing. Because she cooks better than I do. She feeds him more. These are our cinnamon raisin biscuits. Don't they look gorgeous? We're just going to start drizzling these on. Hot and all. We don't wait on a biscuit. We got to try them. All right, let's try one of these. See how the bottoms are golden brown? That's what you want. This biscuit is so tender and flaky. You gotta make these biscuits. Oh my gosh. It's early morning, we're all hanging out together, and I have a wonderful family that I love so much. You are part of my family now. I want to say thank you for watching, for commenting, for coming and hanging out with us in my kitchen today. You are the best audience on YouTube. I wished I could give you a hug, and I wished I could give you a biscuit. You guys go, have a wonderful, wonderful day.